Alright, well, I was expecting to have the flap video done, but since Sheila is still in annual, there's a flying portion of it that I want to get put into the video, and we won't be able to do that until she's out of annual. So, we are here in the 182 hangar. Daisy has seen better days, as it were. She's actually waiting for some cylinders, and the scarcity and the cost is what's driving that whole thing. So someday we do plan on getting Daisy flying again and doing some more videos with her, and hopefully some more air-to-air shoots. But in the meantime, we are concentrating on getting the Stenson done, and in the meantime, this idea of how a constant speed prop works was inspired by a friend of mine over at Just Plain Silly. Bryan has a very, very funny take on how constant speed props work, and you should go check it out. It's over here. But we're going to go through, and since we already have an example of an airplane that's really tore apart, we're going to show you all the bits and pieces from the blue knob to the propeller blades.
This channel is about working on aircraft and flying those airplanes. So come take a seat and let's go for a flight.
Now, if you're not familiar on what a constant speed prop is or why we would use a constant speed prop, it's normally for higher performance airplanes. Now, the idea being able to change the pitch of the prop is to allow for the airplane to have maximum performance when it takes off. Therefore, the blades of the propeller are in a very shallow angle. We call this the fine position. That's controlled by this knob right here, and normally it's blue. Daisy's happens to be black. But when you push the control all the way on the panel, that's for the highest maximum RPM, and that means the blades are not completely flat, but mostly flat. When you pull the knob back, you're increasing the angle of the blades. Therefore, they're going to take a bigger bite, and it slows down the speed of the engine. We use that at cruise to get the best performance. We're increasing the angle of the blade, therefore taking more of a bite of air, which increases the efficiency, meaning we don't burn as much gas because the RPMs are being dropped. So this knob is connected to what's called a prop governor, and all it is just a fancy little device that meters the amount of oil pressure that's going to the hub of the propeller, which controls that twisting of the blades. We can see that here. So we can see in this cutaway diagram where the pilot control is connected to the prop governor. That prop governor moves the arm which controls the speeder spring. There's little flyweights in here that are matched to the speed of the engine, and those flyweights are designed to control the amount of oil pressure going to the propeller to keep it as a on-speed condition. So as the speed of the engine changes, it will change the position to either put the flyweights in an on-speed, overspeed, or underspeed condition. Whatever the desired speed, which is set by the control arm, the flyweights will try to match that speed by either increasing or decreasing that pressure to the propeller. So what causes the engine speed to increase or decrease is the resistance of the propeller going through the air. The greater the angle, the lower the speed. Make sense? Now, at the business end of the airplane, we have, well, it's an engine with no cylinders, but right here is where the prop governor would live. And this cable right here is what's attached to the governor. The governor will pull off oil pressure from the engine. That's why when you pull the lever back to increase the pitch of the propeller, you get that roar, and you see an oil pressure drop because that oil pressure is now having to go to the propeller to change the pitch.
Like a drop. You get a drop in RPM. Rise in manifold. And oil pressure recovery down.
And this is what the governor looks like. This lever is where the control cable is hooked up right here. This little spline is geared into the engine, and then there's passageways here for the oil to go into and out of the prop governor. The lever will set this position on the governor. Internally it's set for a particular RPM. What happens is that lever is put into a position, and that position correlates to a particular RPM, and from that point on the governor will maintain that angle of the prop to control the RPM. So if you start descending, what's going to happen is it's going to sense that the speed of the engine is trying to increase, and it will start to course change the propeller to slow down the RPM. And then the opposite case, if you're trying to increase altitude, the pitch of the propeller is going to try and compensate for the RPM by going to a more fine or a flatter profile. It's hard to see in this condition because there's really no oil pressure left in this propeller, but you can actually see in Bryan's video where he's done a very good job at slowing down the video to show you the different positions of his propeller. Alright, so I hope this helps explain how a constant speed propeller works. There's basically three components. There's the lever, the prop governor, and then the hub assembly, which allows the blades to turn back and forth, which gives us the ability to change the performance characteristics of the propeller while it's in flight. The last thing that we need to do, really, is to make sure that this thing's in tune. That's for you, Bryan. May all your flying be good flying. Now, I'm not some rich and famous YouTuber asking you to like and subscribe to this channel. I'm an aviator asking you to like and subscribe to this channel, because that's the way YouTube works. If you don't click those buttons, YouTube doesn't know that you want to see more aviation content and won't show you more. But if you don't like what you've seen, please leave me a nasty comment down below, because that's the way the internet works. May all your flying be good flying. Now this knob, it's called a knob. So this knob is connected. Stop laughing.
Standing by! Standing by! Waiting for the jet! Waiting for the jet! Waiting for the jet! Okay.